host here at Broomstick Fairy. Now, guys, this channel is brand spanking new, so I'm hoping that we can become very, 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 very great or friends, what have you. Now, guys, like I said, this channel is brand new, so I've got to get used to like camera and the angles and all that. I gotta make sure I've got all the right angles. And don't worry about Biggs. The sister is diet. I've been working hard to try to get this channel up and running for y'all. But it's up now, so I'm thankful and grateful. And like I said, welcome. So guys, I want to make an announcement. In addition to the tarot card readings, I also have an Etsy boutique. And at the moment, I'm selling majority of women's clothes. But fellas, do not give up on me. Not yet anyways. Because basically, very soon, I will be accumulating more and more men's collections. Alright? And also, I want to make it known that for those of you who are not too into astrology or horoscopes or tarot, that you should definitely check out your moon and your rising sign, in addition to the sun sign, which is the month you was born, because those have a major, major influence on our personalities. Okay? And you also should know that there is no better way than getting a more effective reading than for getting one with you and I personally, because those ones are more interactive, there's more one-on-one, it's just you and me, because these readings are basically a general reading and I have to reach millions, so thousands of you with the same zodiac sign as yours, okay? So I'm not going to hit the nail every single time for each and every one of these general readings. So your best way is to book a private one, and you can do so at the Etsy shop, which is called Broomstick Fairy, or one word with a capital F in between the broomstick and the fairy. Or you can also do so at my email, which is broomstickfairy@gmail.com, alright? Because just in case if you're watching the journal ones and you're thinking, that doesn't really gel with your smile, or you're thinking, in other words, it doesn't really feel like it's resonating with you, or it doesn't feel like it's in tune with you in your essence, it's because you either need a one-on-one or you need to check your moon and your vibes. Now, guys, thank you so much for your time. And once again, welcome to Broomstick Fairy. Hola, my Mercurial Virgins, and welcome to your esteemed tarot reading. Now, this is a general reading. A lot of messages came through for you guys, and yes, I know I'm uploading this in the middle of this, but it still pertains to the full entire month of this, okay? And I hope that this is helpful for some of you guys, and I'm just gonna get straight into the reading. Okay, so first we start off the core or the overall energies and essence of your reading. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse. Now, for those of you who are new to tarot, the King of Pentacles in reverse is basically you. Because the Pentacles in this tarot card deck represents the earth signs, which is Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn. And this often represents stability, foundation, groundedness, earth, reliability, good business sense, very, very reliable, and very stern and very stable. You can definitely depend on these people, and these people are definitely hard workers, and they definitely are people that you can turn to for advice when it comes to business or when it comes to anything earthbound or tangible that you can feel and grasp to hands. But yes, Virgos, you have received this in reverse, and this basically is telling me that either you or either you are basically, some of you may be overworking yourself to the bone, like you're feeling overworked and underappreciated. Maybe you're feeling out of your element, or maybe too much in your element, and basically you need to realize that work is not your whole life, and that you should pertain to other aspects of your life as well. And but for others of you, maybe this is someone around you's energy coming in, as because this is a court card. Often when we have when we have kings and knights and queens and all that, it can also represent other people in our lives. So maybe this is telling you that you need to release people who have a narrow-minded or inflexible or like a materialistic or stern or like the highway kind of view in your life. They seem to you think that they seem to have it all together on the surface, but internally they are up as fuck, okay? Or they are tense or like insecure, and it's coming out to you as they seem like they have everything together. So just in case this is somebody else, don't take on too much their opinions, okay? Just worry about yourself. Also, it could mean that some sort of organization that you are building or that you have founded, you may be losing some money right now and the business not be doing too well, and that have you in a bit of turmoil. But rest assured, Virgo, you guys are smart enough. I know you will conquer. And solidifying that, or that's reassuring some of the messages that I just delivered, you have the Hierophant in your thought processes. And the Hierophant often deals with following tradition or following order or following the normal way of doing things. So it can represent organizations or hospitals, or like, say for instance, if you start a business, this can represent your business, or this could represent a company that you work for, or service that you have to deliver to someone. But it's quite traditional. It's quite um, like the norm of society. Is nothing unorthodox of that nature. So this person often follows the rules and was often of service to society in any sort of way, whether it's a school or whether it's a business or just an organization or a club that you're involved in. All this can represent like a religion or certain strict beliefs that you be upholding, or maybe this can pertain to a fatherly figure. Maybe there is someone in your life that has quite strict and is quite strict and rigid in their beliefs, and they don't really bend or shift for no one. So maybe this can be maybe a strict parent or something that they be kind of overbearing and or something of that nature. Yeah. This is what's going on in your thought process. Oh, and then another message I have received, which is following with coming into your emotions. In your emotions, you have the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Swords. So again, for some of you, maybe this can be pertaining to family or parents. Maybe you're thinking, maybe you have like a good relationship or close tie with one of your parents, perhaps your mother, because also we have the Empress here, but I'll get to that in a second. You have the Empress here, the Fool here, and the Hierophant and the Queen of Pentacles. So I don't know, maybe one of your parents you are quite close with, and maybe perhaps that be your mother, and maybe the other one you quite stern and quite rigid in their beliefs, or they might be quite analytical or quite head over heart, and maybe this could be representing your father. So maybe you're thinking a lot about your parents. For some of you, this is message. Remember, this is a general reading, so I just have to, whatever messages come to head or whatever stories come, I have to say, because everyone's stories are going to be a little bit different from the pictures. Or this could mean that some of you, maybe perhaps some of you who are working too hard, or you do feel overworked and underappreciated, you are starting to think about a significant other, or maybe if this is not dealing with a parent, because I see some significant difference between a child and an adult, or a big significance between age, especially with this Empress and then the Magician reverse, and the Hierophant. Yeah, some of you be also dating an older woman, or you're thinking of dating an older woman, or you are the older woman, or you are the older man, and you're dating someone that's younger than you. But I feel like there's an age gap in here somewhere. So for some of you who be working too hard, maybe now you're kind of focused on your emotions. You kind of have that power couple thoughts in your head, or maybe you're kind of interested in someone who you see on a daily basis, or maybe not a daily basis, but on a project that you're working with, or maybe she's kind of like a secretary, or like someone who is holding the fort down for you, or a parent who's holding the fort down for your father, or something of that nature. There is definitely um, a parent parent or a child, or a teacher and a child, or guardian and a guardian and a child kind of relationship going on. And is definitely good advice coming to you, or good support, and that's what or maybe if you don't have that in your life, maybe that's what you're desiring and what you're thinking about in your emotions, or you feel like that's what you're missing in life, is that kind of power couple status, like where the woman and the man work together and execute and put their talents out into the world. Um, and also, what we have in the spiritual influences in your life right now, you have the Empress, and then you have the Ten of Swords, and then you have the Eight of Wands. And I feel like this is saying maybe you're feeling wounded and neglected because the Ten of Swords often represents the swords in the deck represent words, represent, and the words can be hurtful or the words can be poetic and beautiful. Like, but in this case, this card in the upright position is often a bad omen because it's kind of stating that you're kind of feeling like a victim, or you're feeling wounded, or you're feeling like someone is throwing daggers in your back. You see that the blood is oozing from out. So you're feeling quite victimized right now, or you're feeling maybe someone has thrown some harsh words towards you, or maybe there is some sort of fraud or theft going on right now um, in your life, because also you have the Eight of Wands in reverse, and then you have the Empress upright. The Empress and this one and the Ten of Swords together, this can mean that either you are neglecting your true feelings or how you feel to please someone else, or someone else is feelings is being neglected from you, or something along that nature. Okay, um, or maybe your a business needs is being neglecting, or you're feeling wounded by some project that you have birthed, and or there's some project that you gave birth to, and it's almost like your baby, because the Empress often represents a birth of a project or a creative endeavor, or can actually mean literal birth of a child. So I don't know if some of you had an abortion, or have thinking about having an abortion, or some of you um, is having complications with pregnancy or something of that nature. Or for those of you who are involved in a relationship with someone who is a little bit older than you, maybe there is a little bit of delays, or a little bit of stagnation, or a little bit of woundedness in the communications, especially with the Eight of Wands in reverse. I feel like it's saying there may be some poor time management in some sort of relationship, or some sort of disputes between couples. There's so many messages that's coming through, guys. So just bear with me, because I must, even if it's just one line in this whole entire reading and it resonates with you, that will just make a day, because it just goes to show you that there's so many messages and so many people that you have to touch and try and get a message across to. Okay. Um, Also, what we have as a result from your spiritual influences and what's manifesting in your tangible, everyday, physical reality or physical life or day to day life, you have the Page of Swords, or the Page of Wands in reverse, and then you have the Page of Cups upright. Now, the Page of Cups is often, this can mean a child, or this can mean someone of a water sign, because the cups in the zodiac represent the water signs, and it represents Scorpion, Cancer, or Pisces. And these signs are quite intuitive, they're quite loving and quite romantic, they're quite nurturing and helpful, very emotional as well. Um, and they're just very, very much loving and giving, and always willing to help someone in some sort of way. But they can also be a bit naive. But in this particular reading, I feel like the Page of Cups is telling you to use your intuition, okay? Because there may be some blockages happening, or there be the energy be stifled a bit, because here we have the Page of Wands in reverse. So maybe some message be coming through to you, and maybe you not be able to act on everything right now, because I feel like some with the Page of Wands in reverse, it's saying that something is being stifled, or something is stuck, or there is no movement. There is unmovement right now, because normally the Page of Wands represents action, represents eager and willingness to go ahead with creative endeavors. So maybe the creative endeavor is blocked right now, because of some information that you have received, possibly due to someone that you work with in one of your organizations. Because I feel like someone that you be a part of one of your organizations that you have built, or that you be a part of, not be completely honest with you, especially because when I asked Tarot what was the overall meaning or the overall message of this reading, you had the Magician card come up reverse. Now, normally the Magician card is quite mercurial, which definitely represents you, Virgos. But and in the upright position, it's a brilliant and beautiful and smart, magical card. This card is very skillful and basically has all the skills needed to make anything come into fruition. Like you have skills to manifest, put anything that you think of into manifestation. It's like you have the Midas touch and you're a healer and you just know how to get things done. In reverse, you either may be dealing with a fraud, that is someone around you that is a fraud, or it may be you that you may be feeling out of your element and you may be feeling like you don't have what it takes to execute certain situations or execute certain things. Therefore, if this pertains to perhaps a romantic relationship that you're in, perhaps those of you who are dating someone who's older, maybe you feel like you don't have the necessary qualities or the necessary skills or finances, or you're being hard on yourself. You feel like you can't provide for this person, so you're starting to stress and worry about that. And for those of you in business, you're just starting to feel like you don't have what it takes for a certain business opportunity. Um, and things are not running smoothly right now. You're coming up with a whole bunch of obstacles and struggles. And if that's what, and I also feel that for some of you who are dealing with frauds, what's also highlighting that was after I shuffled the cards for what is the overall meaning of you guys reading, at the bottom of that deck was the Seven of Swords. Now, the Seven of Swords is a very mischievous and very secretive, it can be very malicious and cunning kind of energy. Yeah, there's someone that I feel like that is someone may be plotting to take you down in some way, because you definitely have some cards here reinforcing it with this card and then the Magician card, which can mean someone who is a fraud and someone who is selling you sweet nothings, basically. So maybe someone that you're trying to get into business with, they may be a little bit untrustworthy. So just look before you leap a bit. And also, what is also for some of you guys, coming back over here to the part that is manifesting in your everyday life. For those of you who are quite under the influences of some hierophant in your life, or maybe some family member who is quite rigid in their beliefs. This be you, this Page of Cups. Maybe you may be feeling vulnerable like a child, or maybe feeling like helpless, or be feeling very innocent, or um, feeling like that this person's overbearing on you, and you're feeling like you can't execute or you can't take action or make movements like you want to. So that's why you have the Page of Cups, the Page of Wands in reverse. Because upright it means action and creativity and confidence, and in reverse it's obviously the opposite, and something is stopped or something is blocked and stagnant. So maybe for those of you, for this message that is dealing with strict parents, maybe that's what this Page of Wands in reverse is talking about. And like I said before, look before you leap. And also for those of you who this message up here with the Page of Cups is telling you to listen to your intuition a bit more about a project or about an endeavor, or to look before you leap. What is solidifying that and reassuring that is the fact that down here in the opposing forces, because down here in these sections, these are energies that are opposing each other on one end of each spectrum. Okay, and you have the Two of Cups in reverse, and you have the Knight of Cups in reverse. And the Two of Cups upright is all about partnerships. Remember, the cups can also represent water signs. So I don't know, maybe this is a water sign that be trying to deceive you if you are trying to get in business with someone. Um, Two of Cups in reverse is basically speaking of ill partnerships, of partnerships going awry. This can mean basically this can be between two lovers, or it can be between a partnership between work. Basically, someone is being dishonest, or someone is not being who they say they are, especially with the presence of the Knight of Cups in reverse, because the presence of the Knight of Cups is stating that in reverse is stating, excuse me, that you need to keep hold of your heart and don't become too involved too quickly. Look before you leave, okay? Especially if this is pertaining to a romantic relationship, because people may not be what they seem. and then maybe you or maybe somebody else, they be promising more than they can deliver. Okay, it could be a manipulating relationship. It can be fraud. This person can be very fickle and unreliable. So just look a little bit before you leave, or feel this person out a little bit more. And as going back to this up here, following your intuition, and it's right. The cards are right underneath each other, so I feel like that message is even more adamant. Okay, just to follow your intuition about some people. Okay? Turn down the music again. I hope it's not distracting. It's because it's soothing for me. Woo! I'm tired. I'm talking. All right. So yes. Maybe the opposing forces. I feel like there's some sort of organization that you be, or some sort of group of friendship that you be to, or maybe some of you be fighting with some friends over the same love interest of some sort, or maybe there's a love triangle going on of some sort, because we have the Three of Cups in reverse, and the Three of Cups upright often indicates celebrations, unity, friendships, businesses with friends, means collaborations. It means just fun, excitement, celebration. It can also mean a little bit too much drinking. So I don't know. Either you or someone that you're involved with may be a heavy drinker. It may not be the essence all the time, virgins. But for right now, with all these cups overflowing and in reverse for the opposing forces, I don't know. You be dealing with someone who be having a little bit of an alcoholic problem, and that'd be why you need to think before you leave, because they be a little bit unreliable. Or it could just basically mean that there is turmoil or upset in some sort of group or some sort of foundation or some sort of business, and some sort of dispute between friends or lovers. And just you need to be a little bit wary with where you're stepping or who you put your trust into with this Two of Cups in reverse, because this basically telling of a business partnership that is failing, or that is not too positive right now, virgins. All right, and those are your opposing forces. And also, the card just fell out. The advice that tarot and your spirit guides have for you is to release the need to have that one up on people. Release the need to feel like you have to prove so much. Maybe this is also going entire for those of you who maybe work too much with this King of Pentacles in reverse. Maybe you feel like you have to show people so much, or you have to prove yourself so much that you're working yourself to the bone. Don't be bad to the bone. So yes, like just release that, which is good though, because the advice is telling you to release that need if you haven't already done so. Because upright, this card is very spiteful. This card is very like ha ha ha, I'll show you. Like you see, this guy has all these swords. He's holding all these swords, and the three people in the background, they're feeling defeated and lost, and they're often feeling very inferior to this person. Okay, but maybe this you're coming from. Maybe this is you in the near past, but you are releasing that need now. Or if you're not, Spirit is guiding you to do that. Release the need to have one up on people, or to have to prove so much to people. And this card upright isn't always necessarily a negative thing. It just be pertaining to the fact that you have what it takes to show people an alternative route to something, or an alternative way to something. Like people be doing something in one way, but you're able to conjure up some sort of remedy and executes things or presentations or supply some sort of service or demand in a way that other people are not able to execute it. Okay, but just kind of release the need to feel like you have to prove or work so hard, or you have to have that spitefulness, because this card is not really that healthy upright all the time. But release that need and listen to spirit. Okay, and Virgos, the outcome of the situation for you, or for right now, is the fact that you have the Nine of Wands in reverse. And the Nine of Wands upright often talks about having what it takes to finish or to get something done, or being very fiery, or just or being defensive, or just doing everything in your power to get something done, or to have a plan to come into fruition. In reverse, it can mean that you're burning yourself like a firecracker at all ends. And it can also mean that you are overly defensive. And it can mean that you're defensive have not worked, and it means that they have failed, and that now your defenses are down, and you're quite vulnerable and open to these people possibly who are trying to pull the wool over your eyes in some essence or in some sense. Okay, so and this can also mean obstacles or recklessness or arguments of some sort. And it can also mean that you're just being too hard on yourself because, like I said, it's like you're like a firecracker. You're burning yourself at all ends, and you're tiring yourself out. And what solidifies that or reassures that for me, you also have the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands is often the burden card. It often feels like you um you're feeling like you're being too hard on yourself. Okay, or you're feeling like you have to do too much. And it's not that healthy for you. You're feeling like this is such like things that are happening in life right now is quite a burden and it's quite a lot. So you need to turn this temperance, and you have the temperance in reverse, which means you need to find some sort of balance because things are unbalanced right now in your life. Okay, and because the temperance upright often means connecting with your spirit guides or connecting with your higher power or your angels, listening to your intuition, or it can be in moderation. There needs to be some sort of moderation in your life or some sort of balance. Slow and steady was the race. There's no rush because right now you're feeling quite unbalanced. And you're feeling like you have all this weight on your shoulders with this fiery wand energy of 9 and 10s. Those high 9 wands are very can be very detrimental and can feel very heavy on your shoulders. So you need to find some balance in your life. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that after shuffling all the cards, after going around the deck, the bottom of the overall deck for the cross and triangle spread, you had the Fool in reverse. Now, the Fool upright basically means someone who is taking chances, who is optimistic, who's taking a leap of faith, who is jumping into new enterprises and new situations with all the hope in the world, and it's quite childlike and can be quite naive, but this naiveness often works for them because they often get something done or they often break through barriers or break through walls that you can never break through before with the Fool energy. You're just very happy-go-lucky. But you have this as the base of this reading, and you have it in reverse. So it's basically maybe telling you to look before you leap, or it could be telling you to warn from over-optimism or over-faith into something or a project. There be some sort of stagnation or a blockage going on right now. And this was the base at the reading. So this is pretty much the core of the whole entire reading. And it definitely ties in with some of the things that I had said for you guys. Okay, Virgins? I hope that this reading has resonated with some of you. But we're not done yet. I have some messages from the fairies for you. And the same kind of process goes along with the oracle messages. The messages, basically I shuffle them and whatever jumps out, I believe that is what Spirit wants you to know. Basically the messages from the goddesses want y'all to know. This is the goddess guidance oracle card. The goddesses, the goddesses want you to know. Yeah, virgins. Fairness. Okay? So when this card jumped out, I was like, yes. I'm on the right track with some people and the messages that I need to deliver because basically they're saying this situation will be handled in a fair and just manner. Let me suggest another definition for fairness. It's when all parties involved surrender their personal agendas in favor of the greater good for the entirety of the group. This requires trust in the wisdom of the whole. When it comes to matters of disputes, the attacks are based on fears that you not receive your share. Yet, attacks amplify the hurt and the pain that caused the dispute in the first place. Why not surrender your attachment to a specific outcome and instead direct your whole will towards the resolution of the argument? Build a firm vision of a peaceful outcome and let your pieces fall into place in a harmonious manner. The various meanings for this card or the scenarios that can come into play for this card is a lawsuit will be resolved, a dispute will end harmoniously, you will be treated fairly in the end, virgins. Keep everyone's needs in mind during negotiations or release guilt and shame as these emotions can attract a punishing act. Alright? Virgos, that's the message from the goddesses. Now let's speed this up because I'm like Oracle Queen, which is partially or mainly one of the reasons why I don't like to shuffle on screen, because it takes way too long, and the messages from the oracles are quite in detail and in depth. But some of them are very informative and they may be quite long. Okay, just thought I'd share that with y'all. So number 4, and you received the number 4 in reverse. Sorry, and the number 4 speaks of higher power. So the higher power message for you is, in reverse, is now it is time to examine what you are giving energy and attention to in the back of your mind. All right? If you're obsessing about being right, about ill resentment or failed expectations, about money or about any other people, places, or things, these will be the source from which you create. But you want spirit to be your source. Take heart, for your higher power will never desert you and is always waiting for you to remember the sacred partnership you share. Turn away from other sources of power that does not serve your highest good, Virgos. There are no greater source than spirit. There is no greater source than spirit. Sorry. My bad. You can always surrender your troubles and trust that they will be taken care of. You are in good hands. Alright? Now let's keep it moving. Who the hell is this small Virgo? Okay, yeah. Here is the magical messages from the fairies. And the magical messages from the fairies is telling y'all to admit your true feelings to yourself. Now, I'm sorry about all this information, but it's very important to read what the cards, what the description in the booklets, because these are not like tarot where you have to come off the top of your head and create stories. These ones are more in depth and detailed, and I ain't trying to fuck up the message. So, yeah. Be honest with yourself. Only you know what it is that you truly desire. This card indicates that you've been concealing something from yourself. What is it? Your emotions are true and accurate, and they're trying to get your attention. Right now, admit your deepest feelings to yourself. Know that it's safe for you to engage in this self-honesty. Your genuine feelings form the compass that points you in the best direction and guides you to the answers you seek. Trust that any changes you make will come about in harmonious ways. You'll be glad that you admitted your true feelings to yourself. Now, the scenarios for this card is allow people to get to know the real you. Retain your integrity by following the path you know is right for you. Be yourself and face your fears head on. So now you have another, I think another one popped out at the same time. And that message was children. And then I saw this, I was like, okay, for some of you who don't have children, maybe this is highlighting the fact of you dealing like how when I was talking about some of your parents and maybe strict and rigid, or this could mean one of you feeling like a child in a relationship because you be dealing with someone who is older than you. But the message the fairies have here from in the oracles, it says your connection with children is part of your life's purpose. The fairies love and trust children because they're pure faith and godless motives. This card comes to you as a sign of your connection to them. As you read the additional meanings behind this card, notice which message clicks as your truth. So yeah, it's important to know, notice which message clicks as your truth, because all of them are not going to pertain to you. So maybe even the message I just delivered to you about saying about your possible family or feeling like a kid dealing with someone who's a cougar to your motherfucking head. Maybe that's the message that is supposed to go for you, right? That doesn't always literally mean everything that they say word for word in the description of the book. So maybe when I say the word children, maybe the description comes to you in another form of some sort of information that I am not stating, but you know what means and what pertains to you and your life, okay? Anyways, back with it. Pay attention to signs and intuitive feelings related to the topic of children, for the universe is trying to get the message to you. Your life purpose involves working with children. The energy of pregnancy surrounds you. A child in heaven is sending a message of love. You have a connection to indigo, crystal, or rainbow children. Or this can just mean that your inner child needs to play. So going back to that, the aspect of the overall core of your reading with this King of Pentacles in reverse version. Maybe you're working too hard and you need to start playing a little bit. I'm fine. So yeah, that's the message from the fairies. And then have y'all seen Dude? Where's my cloud? That shit is so funny. Okay, come on, Shauna. Let's go to really. The messages from the other fairies. These ones are more quite in depth and a little bit more darker than the other fruity tooty, fruity looty, purple and bloomy. Right. I'm sorry, virgins. I'm getting tired. When I get tired, I get giddy. All right, come on. So you have the Glanskoner or the Glansoner, but you have received the Glansoner in Breves. In upright, the Glansoner means illusion, delusion, lust, projection, clear sight. So, in the reverse position, this means someone is pretending to be other than they really are. But this is what I was telling you. I was telling you this. You need to watch out for someone in business or someone in love. Someone is trying to pull a woo over your ass. Alright? Now, someone is pretending to be other than they really are. They even believe, or at least want to believe, their own deceit. Or probably not. This pretense may be because they want to please others, because they lack the moral strength to present themselves and their ideas honestly, or because they simply hope to gain an advantage by fooling others. Sometimes people fool themselves into thinking they are better than others, and it is therefore all right for them to deceive. Although that is invalid logic, it is not uncommon. Vanity can be involved here, especially vanity based on something we know deep down to be untrue. False words like unmeant apology arise, or we claim that something means little to us when in fact it means a great deal. The others involved in this situation need to wake up and notice what is really happening instead of allowing themselves to be fooled. This situation needs to be handled with care, lest the awakening have very explosive, destructive effects. If the pretender is the current, so if you are pretending, Virgo, you urgently need to begin to present yourself in your true self and your true ideas before things get much worse, as they certainly will, with the ensuing crisis being even more devastating. Okay, this is the time to call upon honesty for aid. And they also received card number 56 in reverse. And number 56 in reverse is Luminous Doom. Upright, it means self-defeat, self-pity, self-destruction, taking care of ourselves. And in reverse, it means someone is sunk in self-pity, and this is having a deleterious effect on that. I like that word, deleterious. All right, deleterious effect on that person and on that situation. I hate to say it, but there is very little anyone but that person can do to change the attitude. It is important to remember that trying to push someone else into a different attitude usually only encourages them to resist us, making matters worse. Take this into account in making your own plans and decisions, and get on with doing the best you can with your life. It is up to the other person to sort out her own or his own attitudes. Okay? And then you have number. Actually, no, let's do number. You got number 7. 7 is the Oak Man. Okay? Now the Oak Man says strength, ancient wisdom, and depth. This card depicts the strength and wisdom of age. It also reminds us that what we need to know, what is truly there to be seen, cannot be discovered by a superficial glance and hasty reaction. In a reading, the Oak Man tells us to look slowly and deeply into the heart of the matter and to see past the superficialities of the surface. Consider the history of the situation in depth and learn from the past. Consult others with more experience than you have. Learn from the wisdom of the elders, both those available to you personally and those you encounter in books and elsewhere. In this matter, it would be wise to make your decisions after more pondering and study of the situation. Consider motivations in depth. Take action only after thorough deliberation. The Oakmen tell us that haste be at this moment our worst enemy. They also suggest that we learn a lot from trees. Consider the trees and the wisdom. Connect with a wise old one and ask for help. Now, some of these oracle messages are not going to pertain to all of you, and that's why I like to read so much. It's because tongue twister. It is a distinct message here for some of you, all right? And I definitely feel that's in. Oh, so I gotta tell y'all, just be patient if it doesn't come or doesn't resonate with you for that one, all right? Now, for the last one I've got for y'all, we have the maiden, sorry. Auspicious beginnings, birth, growth, joy, and hope. Now the maiden, oh, she's quite cute. The maiden signifies new beginnings and growth. You couldn't ask for a very more auspicious card than this if you're beginning something new. Spontaneously Joy, growth, exhilaration, and promise for the future are signified here. We must note also that in the early stages of any process, there is vulnerability and a need for protection, shelter, and guidance, but there is also a magical impetus toward burgeoning growth. Trust the process, but take care of the details as well. Burgeon. The maiden is also the inner child who needs to be under supervision of a competent inner adult in order for her to feel secure and loved. She is not happy when we spoil her. Consider what is growing in your life. Make a list of your hopes, dreams, and plans. Look for the future. Look for the growth within you, and think about how you can cherish and nurture that. Bless the growth you see around you. So yeah, this is definitely highlighting the fact that what I said about some of you have some sort of there's someone in your life that is older, whether it's a mentor, or maybe you're maybe romantically involved with this mentor, or you be romantic, or they just be a mentor, or someone that is older than you, that is wiser and giving you some sort of guidance, whether it's a parent or a teacher, something of that sort. I definitely see somebody figuring in your life that is predominantly older or predominantly younger than you. All right. Now, virgins, that is all. I love y'all, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your August. Okay? Now, please like this or don't like it, whatever. But definitely subscribe so that you can get more information on Blue Stick. Peace.